Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome to Cat Reacts. I'm Cat, and I react to mostly 80s and 90s films. If that is something that interests you, then why don't you subscribe? Today, I'll be reacting to a film called King Ralph. It stars John Goodman, and it was suggested to me by you guys. I've never heard of this film, ever. King Ralph? That doesn't tell me anything about the plot, other than there's a king called Ralph, a very unusual name for a king. If you want to join me on the journey of discovering what this film is all about, then great, hop on and let's go.
Surviving heir to the throne must be found.
Find an heir? What do you mean? Is he missing?
I do believe we found an heir.
Hello, King Ralph.
You shit me.
I've had it with you, Jones. We're not paying you to watch television.
Hello, my name is Duncan Phipps.
Listen, Jones, we're not renewing you after this week.
What? So I wouldn't sing The Impossible Dream? I have news that might bring you some cheer.
I doubt it.
You are the new King of England.
And just like that, they just found a showman in Vegas to be the new King of England.
The late King's uncle, the Duke of Warren, had a small dalliance with your grandmother, Constance. Constance had a son, your father. Since he and your grandmother are both dead, you are the only surviving royal heir in your line.
I haven't got time to be the King of England right now. I gotta get a job.
Good God, the future of a nation's at stake.
Yeah.
Do you remember your grandmother at all?
Connie? Yeah.
Remember a ring she used to wear?
Sure, she used to brag about it all the time. She said she got it from some prince or something.
Was this the ring?
Holy shit. How long you think you'll be needing me?
Well, you see, a king is a king for life.
You can't just bring in a John Doe to be the King of England. This sort of thing requires extensive training. I mean, Prince Charles has been in training since he was born, so...
Ralph Jones.
I'm Cedric Willingham.
Glad to meet you, Sed. Where do we start?
Everywhere.
Woo! Can you imagine, like, spending your whole life painting this? Jesus.
Many of the people in these paintings are your relatives. That's the Duke of Warren, your unfortunate grandfather. You have his chin. These are a few of our traditional English dishes. Here we have roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, bangers and mash, and the ever-popular spotted dick.
Spotted dick?
I've never had spotted dick. The name is still a bit off-putting for me. I've had bangers and mash, that's good. And Yorkshire pudding is,
The spotted dick is a dessert.
Could I just have some ice cream?
What exactly is it that a king does all day?
a lot of formal yibbity-yap. She's not into politics, though.
To be the King of England is a responsibility like no other on earth. An embodiment of our history, our culture, our morality, our pride of achievement.
I thought all I was supposed to do was get dressed up and wave. I don't even know what our virtues are.
You will learn soon enough.
He's American. Better that Parliament declare his line at an end than subject England to this embarrassment. Choose a king from the House of Stuart who reigned in glory before the Wyndhams.
That would be your line, would it not, Lord Greys, making you next in line for the throne?
Yes.
He does have royal blood, no matter how badly diluted. We will simply have to live with him.
The king's gone. He just walked out.
Why didn't anyone stop him?
We tried, sir, but he is the king.
And now, a young lady making her professional debuts, Miss Flamingo Mirage!
Don't tell me this is going to be the Queen of England.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Really unique show, striptease without the nudity.
My name's Miranda. Who are you?
Ralph Jones.
You guys work here?
Well, no. I'm the new king here.
The king of what? Burlesque?
Oh, England. They just hired me yesterday. I'm new in town. I don't know too many people. So I was thinking we'd get together tomorrow night, maybe have a drink, discuss the mood of the country.
This is not how a king behaves.
If I can prove to you by tomorrow night that I'm the king of England, you've got to go out with me at least once, okay?
Yes, all right.
I need hardly remind you that this is not the preferred entertainment of royalty.
Miranda Green.
Yes?
I'm Lord Percival Graves. Do you have a moment?
Well,
It is a matter of some urgency. I understand you've met our new king.
Looks like I did.
If the King of England were to become involved with someone like you,
Someone like me.
then the pressure on him to abdicate would be considerable.
You're asking me to sleep with him?
No, nothing like that. I simply want you to spend time with him until such time as a simple photograph can be taken.
Forget it.
15,000 pounds to start. And if you're successful enough to ensure that you never have to worry about money for the rest of your life.
When you meet the Prime Minister, it would be best to say, how do you do, rather than how you doing.
No problem.
May I present the Prime Minister, Geoffrey Hale.
How do you do, Jeff?
It's a very great pleasure to meet your Majesty. We've decided to invite King Mulambon of Zambezi to visit England on the 23rd of this month. We would be grateful if you would host a reception for him.
Oh.
Extraordinary fellow. He simply won't do. He's common, ignorant, and extremely ill-mannered.
Where does the king go to eat in this town? I'm kind of in the mood for sushi.
I'm afraid that's out of the question. We haven't had time to arrange the proper security. You must learn to accept some limitations on your personal freedom.
Miss Green, Your Majesty.
Oh, boy.
Your Majesty.
Please, call me Ralph.
Oh, I'm sorry, I could never do that.
Yeah, God knows what could happen.
I came to London to study design. I only tried exotic dancing because I needed some extra money.
I've never done anything my whole life. Look where I am. There.
There's no such word as yo.
Are you crazy? I use it all the time. You're not the kind of girl I'm used to. You can spell, you wear clothes to work. You just have more class, I guess.
I'm just a salesgirl from South London.
As king, you are expected to marry a woman of noble birth, particularly given your less than perfect breeding. And Miss Green, fetching as she may be, does not qualify.
She's already seen him twice this week. We could tip off the press next time she goes.
Let's wait a bit longer. Give him enough time to become hopelessly infatuated with her.
Who are you? What is your connection to the royal family? Like, why are you hanging around their castles?
Hello, news desk. I have something you might be interested in.
Miss Green's presence here last night did not go unnoticed. For the sake of the monarchy, this gives you little choice but to end your friendship with Miss Green.
What?
Well, he is being more polished than he used to be, so, well, ooh la la.
Your Majesty, may I present His Royal Highness King Mulambon of Zambezi.
Hey, Holmes, what's happening?
Give me a quintet, brother.
Maybe this is the sort of royal that England needs. Just tone it down with the stiff upper lipness.
You want to go get a beer? I don't know. Do you feel that being the king of a major nation is tougher than you thought?
I'm quite pleased with the economic progress my country has made. We are hoping to be the first in Africa to market an automobile.
Oh, really?
Prime Minister just spoke to King Mulambon. The king said he couldn't remember when he'd had so much fun.
King Ralph seems to have passed his first diplomatic test with high marks.
Congratulations, Your Majesty.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
You're right. I got him good. I'm sorry. I gotta get out of here. I really need a night out, Gordon.
There are easier ways.
Hello?
Congratulations, my dear. The king has broken out of the palace and is at this very moment on his way to see you.
Who are you?
Meet him wherever he chooses. There will be a photographer following you.
Hello, Miranda. It's me, Ralph. Boy, am I glad to see you. People have been looking at me funny.
Are you out here alone?
Yeah.
You know, you look familiar. You're the new king!
See, this is why you cannot leave the palace.
Can I have a burger, please?
Your Majesty, here's a burger on the house.
What is it, this commoner thing? Edward VIII and that Wallace brought? That was 50 years ago. This is the 90s. Anything's possible.
Not in England. Not for royalty.
I can't see myself making it here without you, Miranda.
Now, this is exceptional. Before long, the House of Stuart will be restored to its rightful place. And you, Gordon, will be private secretary.
You traitor!
Here's your money. I'm just glad that I got out now before any real damage was done.
Oh, you have no idea.
We feel that you're ready to help us with a matter of even greater national import. Finland recently discovered large oil deposits in their area of the Baltic Sea. One of our companies is bidding for the contract to supply all the platforms and drilling equipment. A contract that could create thousands of jobs in the northeast. The King of Finland is due here in 2 weeks.
They say the King of Finland. Finland doesn't have a king, they have a president.
The king will be accompanied by his daughter, the Princess Anna. This fall will be the first step toward the royal wedding of the century.
You mean her and me? You can't tell me who to marry. Isn't being the King of England worth something?
Indeed it is. That's why you must marry, to protect your birthright. The Queen must be found to perpetuate the line. The King's life is not always his own.
You're serious about this, aren't you, Sud? Yes. My life is my own, and I can't take this shit anymore. I got everything in the world here and nothing I need. I quit.
Can't really quit being King of England, but okay.
You're asking me to marry a woman I don't know at all.
I'm asking you to think of something larger than yourself. I think it's time you made a stand somewhere for something. If not now, then when? Your family, your government, and the people of England are counting on you.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I remain your humble servant.
At least you're not like Gordon.
Hello, Ralph?
Miranda?
I don't think we should see each other anymore. It's not a good idea.
I guess we should just be glad for the time we had, that kind of thing.
We did have a good time, didn't we?
Just wasn't meant to be. Goodbye, Miranda.
Bye, Ralph.
This is my invitation to the Finnish ball. Make sure that Miss Green gets one just like it. And write this on the back.
Welcome, Your Majesty. On behalf of the people of the United Kingdom, it's a great pleasure to have you as our guest.
Thank you, Your Majesty. We are honored by your invitation.
Princess Anna, it's a pleasure to meet you.
With His Majesty's compliments. He also instructed me to give you this.
Look, this is all really elegant and beautiful, but oh my god, how this looks boring. This is quite cool. It's like dominoes.
Excuse me. You dance great.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Is she a man?
Our representatives can get together in the morning to work out a schedule for our courtship.
Do you really want to marry me?
We're royals. We marry for the position.
We have nothing in common, and she's got a voice like a tuba. I don't know. I got to do something to liven things up. I'd like to play something for you tonight. Maybe pick up the tempo a little, get things rolling.
One of the guests asked me to give you this.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean?
Who is this girl?
Miranda. Who are you?
I'm Princess Anna, the king's future bride.
Future bride? Excuse me, I think I should be going.
No, wait, Miranda, I can explain this, sort of.
Come, Anna, we are going.
Wait a minute, I want to know who that girl was.
Never mind him. He is not worth it.
The Finnish government has awarded its highly prized offshore equipment contract to a Japanese firm.
Never in recent times has a monarch so shamed and embarrassed his country. I say it is time to reclaim our national pride.
Sorry, Grandpa. I had a chance to make a mark for our side of the family, and I screwed it up. Parliament wants me to resign. Hale agrees. King Ralph the Chicken-Hearted. What do you think I should do?
I'm in no position to give advice.
But he's asking you.
Something I have to tell you. After we first met, Lord Graves came to see me.
Graves?
He offered me money if I would see you and compromise you in some way.
You went for it?
To begin with.
I don't believe this. I kept telling myself, everything's gonna work out fine once they know you like I do. Once they find out what a great gal you were. And all along, you were setting me up.
After that night, I gave Graves his money back. I told him I was out. I didn't know he already had photographs of us.
Yeah, right.
You wanted to see me, Your Majesty?
Yes, Gordon, I'd like something.
Anything, Your Majesty.
Just an explanation.
Mm-hmm. Fire him.
I'll see what I can find out, Your Majesty.
Perhaps you can find out why the note is written in your handwriting.
I don't know anything.
Got a second?
Of course.
Now, I'm the king, right?
Oh, yes, indeed.
And as my assistant private secretary, you are sworn to give me whatever information I might need.
Yes, Your Majesty.
All right then, Phipps. Fess up.
No, was Fizz on it as well?
You wanted to see me, Your Majesty.
Not him.
It sort of came out that maybe there was another guy in line for the throne besides me. Is that true, Sud?
I'm afraid it is, Your Majesty.
Then why wasn't he chosen over me?
He begged to be let off.
You just couldn't face it.
Yes, Your Majesty, I couldn't.
Him? No, really?
Why? So you'd pick up a few pointers just in case?
I was determined to help you do the job so well that just in case would never arise.
I probably ought to be pissed, but what the hell? Plus, you are a relative. Phipps, call the Prime Minister and tell him I want to address Parliament tomorrow.
Parliament?
My lords and members of the House of Commons, I know it's unusual for a king to address Parliament, but I have some things to say. I've made some terrible mistakes lately. Mistakes which have shamed England and cost its workers some badly needed jobs. With that in mind, I placed a call last night to King Mulamban of Zambezi. I'm happy to be able to announce that Zambezi will begin full production of Africa's first car by the end of the year, and in a deal worked out with Prime Minister Hale, all of the engines will be built right here in England. I have done my best to learn the ways of royalty, to try to be the kind of king you could be proud of, but I'm afraid my best will never be good enough. For that reason, I have decided to give up my throne.
No!
Ever since I became king, a certain member of this house has worked hard to discredit me, hoping that his family would return to the throne.
This is an outrage, a vile piece of slander.
Oops.
I'll always consider myself an American, but I've come to feel like I'm English, too.
Isn't that sort of the deal with the Mayflower and everything?
I want all of us to have the kind of king we deserve. I'm turning over the throne to Cedric Charles Willingham, who you'll be glad to know is also a Wyndham and a better, more qualified man than any nation could hope for. Long live Cedric I. God save the king.
After me, you're still the only Wyndham left.
I know you'll do a hell of a job. You got the breeding, you got the know-how. Yeah, I want to thank you for everything you did for me. And you too, Dunk. And Tommy.
You showed me how to be a king.
I was a lousy king.
On the contrary, you are a good and decent man.
Thank you, Ced. So long, Your Majesty. We'd say we start over again.
Okay, let's talk about it. Alright, that was me watching King Ralph. It was a funny film. I liked how they sort of tapped into the stereotypes of both England and Americans. Obviously, I'm a John Goodman fan. I adore him, he's amazing. And Uncle Vernon as well. It's not like an Oscar-worthy film, it's not a masterpiece. Probably not even a memorable film, but it was lighthearted, fun to watch. So I could see myself just watch this again if I didn't have anything else to do. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll put out new videos 4 days a week. I'll see you in the next video.